This is Smallzy Surgery.
The brand new Superman movie is out in cinemas everywhere tomorrow. Right now, let's catch up to the man, the creative genius behind the new Superman movie. He is also now the CEO of the DC Universe. He's famous for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the Suicide Squad. It is James Gunn. Let's welcome him to the show.
Hey, I'm writer-director James Gunn.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans won't work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Hello, CEO, Mr. James Gunn.
Hello.
How are you? Congratulations on just what an epic masterpiece.
Oh, thank you so much.
How are you feeling? Because it's like Superman is like one of the most beloved superhero characters of all time.
Yeah.
And to take, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes along with, telling his story on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the responsibility is to myself first and foremost. I'm a huge Superman fan. I'm a fan of the character and all of the characters that surround Superman since I was a kid. So definitely I felt that pressure when I took this on.
Did you have a little pinch yourself moment though on the first day on set when you maybe working towards it, so you sort of started to see like the images and you could feel it coming alive? First day.
Yeah, I think it was before the first day. It was the first day of shooting the screen test and just seeing David start wearing the costume.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh my gosh, this is Superman. This is going to be Superman to many kids, as Christopher Reeve was Superman to me. And that was wild because he looked like Superman.
Now, he'll think he's the star of the movie. Rachel thinks she's a star, and Nicholas will think he's a star. But the dog is the real star.
The dog's the star of the movie. There's no doubt that this is Krypto's movie, and I'm happy that we get to bring this terrible, terrible dog to the world.
You're a dog man, right?
I'm a dog guy.
You know what? I think if you are a dog man or a dog lady, you can see it. Do you have a dog?
I have 2 dogs and a cat. Well, my dog is Krypto, so.
Okay.
I have a dog named Ozu who I rescued he was in a hoarding situation in a woman's backyard that was about 12 by 12 feet. There were 60 dogs.
Are you
They
serious?
were sleeping on top of each other. And I saw this one dog there that had an ear sticking up like a beak. And I said, I want that funny one. And I rescued him. He wanted nothing to do with me or my wife. He had never known humans.
That's why you love it. That's why dogs are the best.
He didn't want to be touched.
Yeah.
And he was just destroyed my entire apartment. And I was like, well, thank God he doesn't have superpowers.
Absolutely. And then the other dog you have?
Is a little puggle, and her name is Lola, and she's 15 years old, but she's trucking along.
Yeah. Does she sleep on the bed?
They all sleep on the bed. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm like, dogs' lives are too short not to sleep on the bed.
Yeah.
Right? Would Krypto sleep on the bed? Do you think if Superman had to sleep? Well, he does sleep, but would he share the bed? Or?
I think that Krypto would share the bed with whomever he chooses to share the bed with, because he's got superpowers, and who's going to kick him out of bed?
This is true. How many cuts did you make when you're putting it when you're putting it down and you're doing the final edit?
Well, there's thousands. I mean, it took me.
I mean, like, is there like a 3-hour version, then a sharpened 2.5-hour version?
Yeah. I mean, I think the first cut. So first comes in the assembly, which is the editor's just basically putting together all the pieces. And this is after I've been working on those separate pieces. So that was probably 2:45.
Okay.
And then the next one was 2.5, and then we got it down to 2:15, and then eventually it's at. Basically, the credits are 9 minutes. It's basically the 2-hour mark.
And do you get pressure from anyone, or who guides you? Is it do you sit there in your Lex Luthor throne making your own decision, or do you have a team of people around you that you're like?
I have a team of people who I trust. Who I listen to. I have Fred Raskin, who's been my editor for a long time, who's worked as a consultant. I have my editors, who worked on this movie. I have Peter Safran. I have my wife Jen. Yeah. So these are all people I show every cut to that give me notes, and I'm like, they know I want them to be honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're brutally honest, but I know
that you have to be that honest. I mean, I know I wanted honesty, but not that honest.
No, I do want it because it's like I want to make the movie. I'd rather have them be honest with me than audiences or critics being honest with me down the line.
Yeah, true. I like that. What about Easter eggs? Did you pepper any through
There's
the film?
so many Easter eggs in this movie. It's crazy. So first of all, every street name in the entire movie is named after like a great comic book writer or artist, whether it's, Wade Street after Mark
Yeah.
Wade or, Moore Street after Alan Moore. And then all the businesses, most of them are named after comic book, writers and artists. Frank Quietly has his own electronics store, obviously. And then also, I think the most fun Easter egg is really when you go into the Hall of Justice, which is actually what it's the old train building in Cincinnati. It's actually what the Hall of Justice in the comics and the cartoons has been based upon.
Okay.
And we actually shot there for the first
Wow.
time. So that in itself is an Easter egg. But inside, in the actual train station, there's this mural that is of the history of Cincinnati. And we turned it into a mural of the history of metahumans in the DCU. And so we
Wow.
can see lots of sort of famous characters there.
They're the obvious ones. Are there any other ones in there that you buried just for family and friends that if you know, and if you don't, you don't?
Yeah, the one that's in almost every movie is there's always a vehicle with the license plate PZM 569. That's an Easter egg just for my brother Patrick and me because that was our license plate when we were in high school.
And love that.
every single movie I have practically has a PZM
I love
569.
Last question. Real life kryptonite. Do you have one? For me, it's a movie snack like peanut M&Ms or popcorn, caramel popcorn. That's my kryptonite.
Like things you like.
Things I like that are bad for me.
Oh, I thought it was like something I don't like.
No, you don't know.
I don't like heights. That's my kryptonite.
Well, I don't know what we're doing up here.
I don't either. I don't know. I walked in here and I'm like, why am I here? But my kryptonite is cashews. Like if you talk about what I can't stop eating, I call them trigger foods. Cashews,
Okay, good.
barbecue potato chips.
Oh.
Those are my.
Oh,
trigger
you are a
foods.
man after my heart. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much, Smallsy.
Thank
Good
you,
to see you, man.
You're listening to the Smallsy Surgery Podcast.
Hear more from Smallsy live weeknights from 8.
Only on Nova.